gamers. So I just played the new Dragon Quest VII Reimagined remake demo thing. I played it for about 2 hours. I think this demo's around 4 hours, so I'll definitely play it some more, but I did have some first impressions I wanted to get out of the way while they're still fresh in my mind. Overall, very excited for this game. Really enjoyed my time with the demo, and I am super excited for the full release coming out very soon. That being said, I do have some problems with it. Now, before I get into the issues, I do want to say a couple things. Like, Dragon Quest VII is coming in at a really good time. With the recent release of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, we saw a lot of people, including myself, clowning on Square Enix. So it is nice that not even a year later, we're seeing a beautifully rendered 3D overworld in the style of those older PS1 games, PS1, JRPGs, in the same vein as what Clair Obscur was doing. So it's just good timing. Obviously, this has probably been in the works for a while, but it is a really beautiful overworld, and it does kind of, in my opinion at least, it kind of shits on Clair Obscur. Like, it's so much prettier than Clair Obscur. I know a lot of people love the art direction in Clair Obscur, and for a lot of the parts I do too, but I think this game is so much more beautiful, so much more charming. That's not the only thing in terms of presentation that I enjoyed. Like, the character models are very reminiscent of like 2D promotional art from back in the day, and I gotta say, there's just something about Dragon Quest where it can manage to make you feel nostalgic even if you've never played the game before. Like, I've played other Dragon Quests, but I've never played Dragon Quest VII. I do intend, actually, after finishing this demo, trying the original Dragon Quest VII through emulation, just to kind of get a comparison to see which one I like more. I do think the little quality of life things that they've added here and a lot of the other aspects of it are probably going to make me like this newer one better, which isn't the case all the time. I do prefer the OG FF7 to the remake and rebirth, even though I love both of those games as well. So, I am pretty damn impressed so far with this game. It comes with a lot of improvements to Dragon Quest in terms of game feel and even presentation. I think it might be the prettiest top-down JRPG I've ever seen that doesn't make use of pre-rendered backgrounds. I still have a really soft spot for pre-rendered backgrounds, so I don't think anything's going to be really topping like Final Fantasy 7 or 9 for me in terms of like just presentation in a JRPG. I think those games are way too beautiful, but I will say this game is pretty jaw-dropping at times. The way the music and the visuals blend together is really something to behold, especially early in the game. You'll get into this cave area, and then through it you'll get to this like waterside area, and it's just so beautiful. So I must say this game is really nailing the presentation. Another huge part of that presentation is the orchestral renditions of these Dragon Quest songs. They sound beautiful. You just get sucked in instantly once you hear those songs because they're just so great. Yeah, music-wise, you can never really go wrong with Dragon Quest. I expected to love the music. I'm glad that they reuse songs a lot in Dragon Quest. I actually think more game series should, because you can only come up with so many like iconic, catchy songs. Like, I really feel like a lot of games should be like just, using their motifs to make new songs a bit more, especially when they have like really, really classic tracks. And to be fair, a lot of games from this era do, so, but I think the way Dragon Quest does it is really, really nice. So I think it's clear from all this glazing that I am very excited for the game, but I do have a couple of complaints and problems with the game. And these are problems that won't really stop me from buying the game, but I do want to mention them. So the first one is there is an option to stop the game from giving you a marker that tells you where to go. They have a literal Ubisoft style marker in a Dragon Quest game telling you where to go, and it's on by default. It doesn't ask you at the start of the game if you want to turn it off. It's just on by default. Now, you can go in your settings and turn it off for the map, but unfortunately it doesn't remove it outside of the map. So a lot of the time you're in a room where there's literally only one thing to do. Like, you'll have one thing at the end of the room and it's like, hey, maybe I should grab that sparkly item, but just in case you were confused, the game will give you this big exclamation mark over it, like as if you needed an exclamation mark there. And it's like, everywhere. You know, you'll be walking around, there's an exclamation mark over this door, then you go to the door, exclamation mark to go here, go there. It's really bad in my opinion for a game like this, especially because it makes it so you don't want to talk to random NPCs as much or just interact with random things, because they're less like, they're basically no chance that you're doing the main thing you're supposed to do right now, and just like happening upon it by chance, because there would be a big giant exclamation mark on it. I genuinely think this is like a huge flaw, and it would be so easy to remove it. Like it ruins a lot of the immersion too, to just have this giant thing on the screen. I want to get lost in this world. I want to get immersed. You know, it's a Dragon Quest game. The music is lovely. The visuals are lovely. But then you're just like shoving this thing on my screen that I don't want to see. I don't want to see a big exclamation mark in the single square room with one thing in the room that I can grab. Like, no shit, I'm going to grab it, dude. Like, how stupid are we? Now, another problem I had that I did kind of expect, but that is very unfortunate, and they do it in a way that's very jarring, is the translation. So I have no issue with the like English dubbed version being localized and everything, but I really wish a game like this would have like a more accurate translation when you're playing the game in the Japanese dub version. I'm the type of person that if I'm playing a piece of Japanese media, I'll put it in Japanese. If I'm watching a Russian movie, I'll put it in Russian, you know, and I'll just use the subs to help me, guide me along. But I really don't like when even I can tell that the subs are not accurate, and I'm just kind of stuck like looking at these subs and just knowing that it's just BS, right? There's this scene that's so jarring early in the demo where you talk to this like warrior girl, and in the Japanese dub, I mean, I'll make you listen to it, but in the Japanese dub, she sounds like a soft-spoken maiden. You know, she has a lot of elegance and grace to the way she's speaking. And then you read the actual, like, it's just like, they write it like it's a southerner, like a stupid accent, you know, like, oh boy, golly, I can't believe that you would do that.
マチルダさん？マチルダさんはこんな暗いところで草むし？いえ、この草はそこにある墓に備えようと積んでいたものです。
Dude, this is crazy. It's like just so jarring that the voice doesn't match this hard.
せめて雑草でもと思って。
Like, what the fuck with Little Lot? Like, do you hear this? Like, this is crazy. Okay, I get it. Like, that's the voice you decide to do for your localization, which I also think is a bit, taking it a bit too far here. You're like literally changing the entire character, but whatever. At least if I'm playing in Japanese, please let me just read what the characters are actually saying. You know, like there's a point where a character just goes like, Ikso! And, which means I think like, let's go or something like that. And then they write out a whole sentence. It's like, okay, I get it. Like you could have just made 2 subs. I understand it. It's a lot of extra effort. It's the kind of thing that you mostly expect modders to do these days. But I feel like it's not a crazy thing to want just like an accurate translation if I'm not playing the game with the English language on. Like at this point, what am I gonna have to like learn to read kanji if I want to play these games and get like an accurate experience? It's kind of crazy. Now, those are most of my complaints. I want to get back into the good stuff because I do want to talk really quick about the combat system in this game. This is the most snappy Dragon Quest combat I've ever played. It is so satisfying. It really feels like they took cues from like SMT and Persona games to just have like this really fast-paced combat system that feels really good, very quick. I don't know, man. I don't know what they put in this system. It's the animations, just the fact that, you know, there's not a lot of in between in the actions. So, you know, like actions happen one after the other very quickly in succession. Honestly, the combat alone is probably going to make me want to keep playing this game. Even though there's a couple things I have issue with, especially the little exclamation mark. I'm enjoying this Dragon Quest combat so much. I've already enjoyed a lot of other Dragon Quest games before, but this one's combat is just way better than the other ones. I really hope when they do come out with Dragon Quest 12 that it feels similar to this, because this is like, you know, it's just the fundamentals of turn-based combat. You know, Dragon Quest has always been about just like very fundamental turn-based combat, but the way they do it is just so good, so satisfying. Even in Dragon Quest 11, I wasn't necessarily like excited to do battles because they still felt a little bit like slow and sluggish at times. Whereas like in this one, they just feel really, really fun. They did a great job with that. That's not to say there's zero problems, but this problem is a bit more my fault, so I'm not going to complain about it too hard. I put the game on like the default difficulty that they recommend, which I guess you could call normal. It's like the second one in their list. and it is kind of a mash fest. It is a bit too easy. I'm probably going to start the demo over in a harder difficulty. Maybe I'll try the hardest and see if I like it, and if I don't, then I'll put it at like the second hardest. But yeah, it's definitely, the default difficulty is a bit too easy, I would say, if you've played other JRPGs before. You know, I'm a big fan of SMT and well, Persona not as much, but I am a big fan of Shin Megami Tensei, so I am used to at least like a fair level of difficulty in my turn-based games. Not that SMT is crazy hard or anything, but it's not like brain dead easy. So I will probably have to do that, but I will say, even just mashing A in this one feels pretty damn good, man. They made those animations snappy. They made the mashers feel nice. So if you're a big Pokemon fan, you'll probably feel right at home here. Now, I know I've been a bit over the place, and I don't want to yap too long because this is really just an early impressions video. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a review for the full game when it comes out. I would probably like to stream it because I'm enjoying it a lot. We'll see for that. You know, I'm trying a lot of different stuff. You'll be seeing a lot of different styles of videos on this channel in the coming weeks and months, maybe, just as I like try different things and try to find something that I really like doing. But I did want to try at least make a little like early impressions video about this demo because I had such a great time with it, and I did have a couple things I want to complain about. Now I'm really yapping. We're gonna cut it off there. Thanks for checking out the video. Peace.